All right, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Hey Guys. All right, so now that we have our multi-view drawing done, we need to add dimensions. So this object is a little bit unique in that, we've got some circles that are in the square columns and the top and bottom are round circles. So let's go over how we dimension that. You're going to be surprised at how quick and easy it is to dimension in Onshape. All right, so I'm in my drawing. So all I need to do is come up here and find the dimension tool. Now, don't forget the rules of dimensioning, right? So we don't want to over dimension. So since this top and bottom, they align and they are a circle, we're going to just dimension the circle. Now you'll notice that the diameter symbol shows up. We see that it's a diameter of 32 millimeters. So that's correct. So that means I don't need to dimension this width because that is the diameter, right? It's also the diameter of the bottom. All right, so what else do I need to dimension? Well, let's dimension where these holes are. So to do that, we're going to click on the bottom, we're going to click on the center point, and we're going to drag it out. Now look how that set that up. That set that up so that the number is between the extension lines and the dimension lines are on the outside. And that's okay because it helps make it clear. It's easier to see the 14. So that's what I want. But that means I'm going to have to do these next couple of dimensions a little bit differently. So if the dimension lines, the arrowed lines, were in between these lines, I would just stack these all up right on top of each other. But since they're not, I'm going to stagger them so it's easier to see. And I want to make sure that that dimension line doesn't cross that object line, right? All right, so now, question, do I need to add this last dimension from here to here? Well, no, I don't, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this line dimension and pull that out here, right? Now, I don't want that. Let me highlight that. All right, come on. I won't give it to me. I want this. There we go. All right, so that was just by double clicking, I was able to do that. And then I want this dimension down here. And I'm going to leave that with those arrows to the outside because I don't think that there's enough space to put the arrows on the inside. And then I'm going to do one more dimension that's going to go all the way up and bottom and pull it out, drag that in between. So when you're putting the dimension in, if you drag it down in between, it should work. That 45 got stuck that way and it didn't change. All right, so what's next? Well, I can't dimension these hidden lines. I need to dimension how wide across this is. So, I'm going to just click on this point to this point and pull up. We see that's 13, and I like the way that looks. It's not too messy. So one thing that I forgot to do when we were doing the multi-view drawing, here's my mistake, is that I don't need to dimension the center of these because it's in the center of the entire object. So I'm just going to come over here and grab another center line. I'm going to pick this point here, and I'm going to drag it down to this center point here. And since this is all centered, I know then that my center of these circles can be just dimensioned, so to speak, by showing that that's through the center of the whole object, right? Otherwise, I would have to give a dimension from the center point to the line, but that would be maybe a little bit messy. I could do it that way, but I think that's a little bit messy. All right, so the only other thing that I need to do is it's not really clear that this is, to someone making it, that this is actually a square. So I just want to add this dimension right here. Oh, I'm still in the center point. I want to get the dimension tool again. All right, so I want to dimension this and drag that up. And then now, if I'm making this part, I can see that, oh, this is in fact square. I don't have to guess. You never want the person that's making the project for you to have to scale off of the drawing, or, it says right here in the template, do not scale drawing. you have to make sure that you include all of the dimensions that anyone making this would need. All right, so I've got my longest dimension furthest out, and then I step them in. I don't need this dimension because I can simply start from the bottom and find all my center points. I don't care how much this dimension is if I'm making this. And I also don't care how much this is if I know that the overall is 64.5 and I build this to 13 and this to 45. All that's left is what this is. So that doesn't need to be dimensioned. That would be over dimensioning. All right, drawing looks good. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget, like and subscribe.